Greetings, my friends. Thank you for watching this video, and if you would be so kind, please subscribe if you like what you see. Help our channel to keep growing and keep fighting the war to save pop culture. Together, we can end this destructive conflict and bring order to the galaxy. Enjoy, and thanks. Greetings, my friends. I am Dictor Van Doomcock, the future ruler of Earth, and I'm still angry about Star Trek Strange New Worlds, a show that tries to sugarcoat its canon violations and general stupidity beneath the charm of Anson Mount and the hotness of the woman they cast as Nurse Chapel. Fortunately for real Star Trek fans, Doomcock is not fooled by this camouflage, and so here we are with part 2 of my review.
So, as I recall, the USS Phony Prize was warping to an alien planet to rescue Number 1, who got captured on a first contact mission.
Exactly, Harvey. So they head off to rescue Una, and the Phony Prize travels through hyperspace like it's Star Wars. Yet another bit of stupidity from Kurtzman's Star Trek. We used to see the stars moving in Star Trek, but not anymore, no. Nah, they travel through a tunnel in hyperspace just like the Millennium Falcon. Yes, they're that stupid. They don't even know which franchise they're fucking up. We also see Vulcan extras in the background, yet more canon violation, ignoring the fact that Spock was the first and only Vulcan in Starfleet, even through the years of Kirk's command. T'Pol in Enterprise was not a crew member, not in Starfleet. She was a Vulcan observer, sent to keep an eye on Archer, so she really didn't count.
She was really hot, though.
Yeah, she was. And speaking of hot, in Pike's Cabin on board the Phony Prize, he has a fireplace. Just so the Klingworks and STD wouldn't feel stupid about having torches all over their ship, they have Pike with a fireplace in his starship cabin. Like we fans are gonna say, oh, well then, guess having fire on your starship makes sense after all. Sorry, Klingworks. Dear God, this thing sucks. So, at this point, and for the rest of the stupid episode, we see Pike seeing his distorted and burned reflection in various mirrors and surfaces. Turns out he's troubled by the terribly stupid plot point that Pike has witnessed and experienced his own death thanks to time crystals in the Klingork Monastery. Pike knows he will die 10 years from this point, and he can't stop thinking about it. Pike idiotically tells Mr. Smirk that now he's questioning his every decision because of this foreseen death, and Spock idiotically doesn't point out that if Pike knows he dies in a decade, then logically he knows he won't die before then. So far from questioning his every decision, he now has total and complete plot armor and shouldn't worry about a damn thing for the next 9 years, you morons! Pike is now a good luck charm, like a rabbit's foot in the wrong Starfleet uniform. Hang around him, boys and girls, he ain't going anywhere. But even this elementary dose of common sense is beyond Kurtzman and Goldsman, as they don't realize that part of writing is thinking, and stupid writes as stupid thinks. Don't look for anything in Star Trek except stupidity, disrespect, and vandalism of the cultural kind. Also appearing is Dr. Mabenga, a little extra virtue signaling casting another black man that makes no sense, given that it was established in the cage that Pike was very close with his doctor on the Enterprise, an older man named Boyce. So they've just completely disregarded the integrity and verisimilitude of Pike by just swapping out his best friend like they were interchangeable Tinker toys. They have zero regard for these characters or for fans. They are filthy scum, cultural vandals, wannabe Jackson Pollocks throwing splatters of diarrhea on the Mona Lisa and calling it originality. So suddenly, the stunningly hot Nurse Chapel, who wasn't even on Pike's Enterprise and only came on Kirk's Enterprise to look for her missing fiancé Roger Corby, but you'd have to be a Star Trek fan to know that, of course, so these hacks don't. Nurse Chapel appears on the USS Phony Prize as some kind of futuristic Dr. Moreau, injecting the landing party looking to rescue so-called Una with something that will alter them temporarily on the genetic level, mutate them into a new form so they can blend in with the alien natives. And it is, of course, Painful, because Kurtzman never could resist a good old-fashioned eye gouging, and he loves inflicting pain not only on the fans, but also the characters. There's no reason that these characters couldn't be put to sleep to undergo this bullshit tech that didn't exist in Star Trek ever in any real episode. On real Star Trek, as opposed to Shark Trek, McCoy just made Kirk up to look like a Romulan, the old-fashioned way, with makeup and prosthetics. And Chapel is so damn cheerful about, oh, this is gonna hurt bad. There's just no way around this. This is one ugly piece of crap show. Forget optimism, forget Roddenberry, forget kindness and decency and plausibility and literacy and history and science and quality. Kurtzman's Shark Trek is Trek for cretins. Hateful, ugly, and dumb as a bag of hammers that have been hammered in the head by bigger, meaner hammers with bad attitudes. So they beam down to the alien planet where Una is being held prisoner. Khan Noonien Singh's great-granddaughter, whose name I don't give a shit about, so being Khan's granddaughter, I'll just call her Connie from now on. She's part of the crew as Pike's new number one, and she beams down to the alien planet with Pike and Spock. Spock knocks out a few people on the planet with his Vulcan neck pinch at Connie's urging because they need their uniforms and security badges to replicate and to put their retinal scans on their security badges.
Which is stupid. They beamed down already disguised in alien clothes, and they managed to replicate those alien clothes they're already wearing without actual samples. So why do they need samples now? Wouldn't just a few images of the clothes do? As for the badges, they could have just beamed those up instead of beaming up the aliens, clothes and badges and all, right?
You're right, Harvey, but hey, let's make it hard. So they beam the unconscious aliens up to the phony prize to reproduce their uniforms and security badges, and Pike orders them to be isolated and sedated. Sadly, Dr. Mabenga is too incompetent to even keep these aliens sedated. And so they wake up, one runs away, and Mabenga chuckles, despite this being a complete failure of his orders from Pike, to keep these aliens sedated so that the Prime Directive isn't impacted. Yes, he chuckles at his failure, just like Kurtzman. That's the kind of shit show this is. And our extremely hot Nurse Chapel physically chases this alien down the corridors instead of just calling security or yelling to all the crewmen she's dodging between in the chase to, do your jobs and grab the alien I'm chasing on the deck and hold him for me. But they don't, and the alien gets into the turbo lift. And who is in there with him but Uhura, or as I call her, Unhura, since they have undone this character with this ridiculous miscasting, and of course, Unhura knows everything about his culture and chats him up, despite this being a first contact situation. Somehow Unhura knows about the sports on his planet, and so they chat about sports.
Did someone drop this entire writing staff on their heads at birth and then kick them in their soft little heads until they were brain damaged enough to write crap like this?
You gotta ask the doctors, Harvey. I mean, get this, Harvey. When Mr. Smirk's fancy DNA-altering shit stops working while they're trying to get into the prison facility on the planet, and Smirk is at risk of failing a retinal scan and getting busted for being an alien, the geniuses on the phony prize literally beam more of the DNA-altering shit straight into his eye just seconds before Smirk has to take the retinal scan. It's ludicrous. This stuff is supposed to work by altering their DNA to make them appear alien. But a retinal scan is not sampling DNA. It simply checks the unique arrangement of blood vessels in the eye, unique to each person like a fingerprint. So DNA has nothing to do with it. There's no reason this stuff should alter the blood vessels in the eye in the first place, but even if it did for some reason, rewiring Mr. Smirk's eye is not going to be instantaneous, literally in seconds. The cells would need time to reproduce and rearrange themselves into their new alien structure, but hey, it's not Star Trek, it's Shark Trek.
Akiva Goldsman, who wrote and directed this garbage, is that dumb. He doesn't even have respect for himself, much less Star Trek.
And get this, folks. Somehow Spock doesn't even flinch when this stuff is beamed straight into his eye and all the blood vessels in there magically rearrange themselves so he can pass the retinal scan a mere 2 seconds before he gets scanned. But after rescuing Numera Una on the way out of the facility, he screams like a punk-ass wuss when his ears revert from being curved to being pointy as the DNA stuff wears off later in the show. Again, his ears go from round to pointy in seconds, and cell alterations to literally reshape his ears would not work that fast. But hey, idiocy, thy name is Kurtzman. Welcome to Shark Trek.
Should have stuck to makeup and prosthetics like they did in literally every real Star Trek before this crap. But of course, just remember, this is not Star Trek. It's Kurtzman's Shark Trek.
Yeah, again, they ignore Spock's discipline and dignity. He screams in pain. It's pathetic. The real Spock screamed once before on real Star Trek when the plant spores in this side of paradise removed his emotional restraints, which makes sense because his emotional restraints were, removed. So of course he would scream at that point. But this? Mere physical pain? Right. Spock forgets a lifetime of emotional restraint cause his little ears hurt.
Go to hell, Shark Trek. You disgusting, incompetent hacks!
So Spock screams, gives away the whole game. Guards attack them witnessing this event. They knock out the guards and then they run. So get this, guys. The scary thing about this is these aliens are fairly primitive, equivalent to us in 2022, yet they have developed a matter-antimatter reactor that they're going to use as a bomb, since they're in a state of civil war on the planet. There's no way that this civilization could have developed this advanced tech on their own, so how did they get it?
I bet the answer is so stunningly stupid it's gonna make people watching this video spontaneously combust.
So get this, Harvey. When Mikey Spock opened up a wormhole so Discovery could travel into the future, these aliens were able to watch the whole thing with a telescope. And by watching this through a telescope, they were able to reverse engineer a matter-antimatter reactor, which they're now using as a bomb.
Oh, God. Right, that's how it works. They saw them jump through a telescope, and then they were able to reproduce a matter-antimatter reactor. Yeah, right. I've seen Tesla commercials on TV. Now I know how to make Teslas. Excuse me while I whip one up.
Oh, sure. Hey, I've seen videos of brain surgery. Cue up my new career, and I didn't even go to ITT Tech.
Just looking up antimatter in the dictionary has enabled me to create a bunch of antimatter. Look out, Hollywood. Harvey's got a bunch of antimatter, and you pissed me off.
And I've seen video of Betty Page. Looks like I'm gonna reverse engineer Betty Page and have a grand old time tonight.
Shark Trek. It's easier than thinking, TM.
Holy shit. This is awful crap, man. So basically, Pike's solution to all of this is to completely blow off the Prime Directive. Screw it. Let's parade Spock's ears all over the place. Let's confess to the government that we're aliens. Let's lower the USS Phony Prize into low orbit so the whole planet sees it. So all the precautions, all the beaming up of aliens, all the escaped aliens because of Mabenga's incompetence, the DNA alterations, fuck all of that. Let's toss the Prime Directive out the window entirely and make the whole episode redundant.
Yeah, it's kind of like when your incontinent grandpa comes over to your house to visit, and he accidentally takes a huge dump on your couch, and then he stands up dripping brown on the carpet and says, "I never did like that couch." Pike screwed up the mission, so let's go really big and act like he screwed it up on purpose. 4D chess. What a guy.
To quote Dr. Smith on Lost in Space, which was written like Tolstoy compared to this trash, "Oh, the pain, the pain." So yeah, they sodomized Canon by saying that Connie Noonian Dung was a captive in a Gorn prison camp. So forget about Kirk's first encounter with the Gorn. Connie was there first. Everyone knows about them. God, I hate this crap. So in the end, Pike takes it upon himself to show them a video about the Federation, their history, World War III, and then he says that they can go kill themselves or they can join the Federation of Planets. Ta-da! I could go on and on and on, but I'm tired, folks. Tired and disgusted and furious. So I will just end this video now and urge you not to be fooled by this phony trek. Cancel Paramount Plus. And for God's sakes, people, stay angry. Ha 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 ha.